Who's going to win between the San Antonio Spurs and the New York Knicks? We got a clash of two teams that have had very good seasons so far. And now we get to see everything at stake, everything on the floor. Winner takes all. Who is going to win between these teams? Thoughts and feelings heading into this game, fellas.
I actually like the matchup of Fox and Jalen Brunson. I think that with Fox being able to put so much pressure on that San Antonio defense, especially on their perimeter, Fox being able to put so much pressure on New York on their perimeter defense, I think that's going to cause a lot of trouble for Jalen Brunson. But on the flip side to that, I also think that OG Anunoby, I think he can cause a lot of trouble dealing with Castle, keeping the basketball away from him, keeping him at bay. The difference in this game is going to be Wemby. And the reason why I feel like the difference in this game is going to be Wemby is because the last time both Cat and Wemby went at it, I think it was last year on Christmas, and he basically just gave Cat the business. So I think that the only way to thwart what Wemby does is Cat has to go back at him. It's going to be almost impossible to stop him, to limit his touches, and that's not really who Cat is. So I think it's important for Cat to go at him. I think that San Antonio's rotation, I think that they can match what the New York Knicks rotation is if Mike Brown doesn't dig deep into his bench with those big guys that he has. But if he does, I think that's going to be a huge problem for San Antonio. I like the Knicks in this matchup.
It's a rematch of the 99 finals, Joe.
It is. It 100% is. Except Duncan and David Robinson are not there anymore. No. They're not there anymore. So
Cowboy Bob gonna be mad about this, but give me the Spurs, man.
What you like about San Antonio that you don't like about the Knicks?
Well, I don't even think it's like that. I think the Knicks are on an incredible run since Josh Hart entered that starting lineup, but I feel like San Antonio believes that they're going to win this a little bit more. They played an incredible game against OKC. If you could do that to Shea, if you could do that to Chet, if you could do that to OKC, I'm going to trust you that you can do that against Jalen Brunson and Karl-Anthony Towns.
See, Penn, I worry about stuff like that because when I see it's almost like the NCAA tournament. What I mean when I say that is when you see a team in the NCAA tournament get busy against a team, it's almost like they emptied it, and then when they see the other team, like they gave all that they had against that other team. Like when you see a 13 seed end up beating a 4 seed or something like that, they emptied it against them. Well, is it fair to say, considering what Oklahoma City was defensively, offensively, San Antonio may have emptied it against San Antonio, and it's going to be difficult to match that in terms of offensively against this Knicks team? Because I think that's what the issue is going to be.
Other teams, yes. But the way Wemby was talking about it afterwards, it doesn't feel like they think that they're so high on themselves. You know what I mean? Like Greg Popovich always used to talk about this thing, appropriate fear. You should always have an amount of appropriate fear for your opponent, respect for your opponent. And I would understand maybe a younger team, maybe like a Houston or something, they beat OKC, they'd be like, oh, we got a clear path. And then boom, they sleep on the next opponent. I don't think the Spurs are overlooking anybody right now.
Yeah.
I mean, why would you overlook an NBA team? Like, what are we doing?
You just beat the best team in the NBA. You might be feeling yourself a little bit. You might walk in being like, oh, we invincible. And then you get jumped, right?
I think that's just how y'all look at I think that's just how y'all look at it. I think if any team beat the Thunder, they just feel like they just beat the Thunder. Don't really mean, like you win a championship for beating the Thunder. You just beat them. You just won a game, 1 of 82. I don't think they look at it like how y'all.
Well, that's the difference, though, Jordan. Because actually, if you beat the Thunder, we can win a championship in this particular situation. We actually can win a championship.
Chill, what Jordan's saying is like you don't have to overlook somebody to get beat by them. Like you can prepare night and day. You can prepare tediously, and you can still get your ass beat on any given night because you could come out and you guys just might not be playing that well. And the other team can come out and they could be firing on all cylinders. The Thunder can play their best game, but the Jazz can play a better game and beat them. And we almost seen that this year. So it's like, but it might not be a case of the Thunder overlooking the Jazz. It's just the Jazz got NBA players too that lace up their shoes one by one. They put on their jerseys. They prepare. They go through warm-ups. They have their pregame meals. And the Jazz can just be better than the Thunder one night. It doesn't have to do with the Thunder being like, oh man, it's just the Jazz.
Well, wait a minute though,
Ron. Get no
or the Spurs, like because they beat the Thunder, it's like, oh, we beat the Thunder, we gonna win the chip. I don't think that nobody thinking like that. I think they just beat the Thunder, and now they know
Jordan,
they have
where you getting that from?
Beat the Knicks.
Where are you getting that from? Like overlooking these teams. Like I don't think that the Knicks are overlooking. I mean, I don't think San Antonio is overlooking them. My logic is this San Antonio team. I feel like there's a world where we emptied it against this team, and that was all we had. And then going up against this Knicks team, that doesn't mean that we overlooking them. No, we're not overlooking.
Why you say they empty it though?
Well, because the NBA. Let's not sit up here and act like you don't play different against the NBA champion. I don't care if it's on a Tuesday in January or in the playoffs. You play different against the champ than you do against Washington or against any other team.
But what do you mean emptied it? Like that's all they got? Like they gave it all to the Thunder? Like what you insinuating? And I just don't agree with that. I think they just played
exactly that. So now when we see the Knicks, everything that we gave Oklahoma City, do we have that same effort against the Knicks? Do we have that same, not just philosophy, but that same effort? Can we bring that same game that we gave Oklahoma City? Can we bring that same game to the Knicks? That's my logic. Because
I understand. That's why I'm asking, like, why wouldn't they? Like I'm saying, like,
because we gave it all to the Oklahoma City. That's why.
All year. Them getting Wemby back is just like they've been a serious team all year. Then them just adding Wemby back like that.
Sure.
Like that should just, make the game easier and better for them, to be honest.
It should, but let's not act like Wemby is getting back in the lineup and he's still on a minutes restriction. It's not like Wemby is Wemby is getting back in the lineup and he's 35 minutes a game. No, don't forget, he didn't play the whole first quarter in game one. And when he got out there in the second quarter, it was like Oklahoma City were flabbergasted, like, oh shit, I forgot y'all had that. So now that they did that, okay, they go up against this Knicks team, and that same effort, maybe even more energy, is gonna be needed. That effort that Cat gave against not Cat, I'm sorry. That effort that he gave against Oklahoma City, he might need more of that against this New York Knicks team. That effort that Castle gave, he might need more of that against this San Antonio.
I don't think he would need more. I don't think he would need more, to be honest. I mean, they played obviously a tougher team in Oklahoma City Thunder than the Knicks. The Thunder is obviously a tougher team. The Knicks is going to be a tough team too, by the way. Like they're going to be a tough out too. I think they just bring it. I think all the marbles is on the table. This is for the bread. Like they just going to bring it and play. Like I don't think this. From the Spurs games that I saw this year, I can't see. Like I didn't see many Spurs players just taking days off and plays off. Like they play young, energetic, and they play hard. So I don't think they're gonna go. They're playing in Vegas, right? A mutual side.
Yeah.
Yeah, I don't think they go to Vegas and just like forget why they there. I can't see that. Is what I'm saying.
But chill right quick. I just want to get some clarification because my man Peace Warrior in the chats. I usually don't do this, but Peace Warrior asked a great question. He said, "Chill, are you talking energy or mentality, or a little bit of both?"
I think it's a little bit of both.
You said that they can't bring it because they emptied it.
I think it's a little bit of both because when we're going up against a team like Oklahoma City, don't forget this team won 17 straight games coming into this game. They looked almost invincible at that point. They were steamrolling everybody. So it took everything we had to drop them. Now, don't get me wrong, Ron. We got a couple of days within the championship game. That was on Saturday. We got 3 days to chill. All right, now we get a chance to reload, but can we still bring that same energy to drop this Knicks team? Because it's going to be different dropping this Knicks team than it was dropping this Oklahoma City team. Can we have the same mentality? Even though it is for all the marbles, can we have the same mentality? This ain't Oklahoma City. They don't fly around on defense the way the Knicks don't fly around on defense the way Oklahoma City does. They don't have Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, who's the bucket getter, even though I think Brunson is 100% a bucket getter. But I just think that we're seeing something different. And is it possible that what we had against Oklahoma City, can we still have that against the Knicks? That's the question that needs to be answered.
It's not like the Knicks didn't exhaust themselves playing against Orlando.
Yeah.
Right? So that was a tough opponent. That's a physical opponent. Paolo's physical. Jalen Suggs, physical. There's a lot of physical dudes over there. So it's not like both teams didn't go up against, formidable opponents. And I just think, the Spurs are one of the youngest teams in the league. They're not super old. It's early in the season. they probably got the fresher legs at this point. You know what I mean? And I feel like first game back from a long period off, and Wemby looked pretty damn good. I imagine he might look better tonight, Chill. I think that's a fair I think that's a fair suspicion.
With a couple of days off.
Do we know what his minutes are like? Is because he's still around like the 20, 21, 22?
I think he was at a 20-minute.
I think it was 25. I think it was 25 against
okay,
so he played 22 minutes, didn't he?
Yeah, he played 22, but 25 sounds about right though.
Mm-hmm. I think his minutes restriction, it might go up. I think it's going to go up in this game. Now, don't get me wrong, they ain't going to run him in the ground, Ron. I don't think they're going to play him 40 minutes or anything like that. No, but I think that I think I could see Wemby playing 30 minutes tonight. I wouldn't be surprised if they did that with him.
Yo, they played him 21 minutes. So they played him 21 minutes. His minutes restriction was supposed to be 20.
Mm-hmm.
I wouldn't be surprised if it was 25.
Yeah,
maybe 30. But I mean, he was like plus 22 in the game, and it was so obvious. They tell you don't look at single game plus minus, and I get that. I totally get that. It's very misleading. But with him, you could feel it. When he came into the game, both stretches, 3 stretches, it was like an immediate shift in terms of how OKC played basketball. Yeah, OKC could not attack against him the same way. So to me, it's like if he's starting, I wonder, watching Jalen Brunson as much as I have this year, I think Wemby at the rim can really, really make a big difference. And knowing how those dogs on the perimeter attack for them, knowing how Dylan Harper's guarding right now, knowing how Steph Castle's guarding right now, I feel like Jalen Brunson about to have like a really hard matchup.
Yo, but before we get to even really like deep diving into the matchup and stuff like that, because I do want to talk about how Wemby would look against this Knicks offense, because I think this Knicks offense the Knicks have a potent offense, and I'm curious to see how Wemby fares against that, or how they fare against Wemby, depending on how you look at it. But I want to rewind right quick though, because Mars, I want to hear your thoughts on the mentality and being prepared. Do you think that San Antonio, based on last game, that they may not bring it, or just because of what they just previously faced with OKC, you think they gave it their all and they just don't have it now?
I'm definitely the wrong person to ask about that.
I think you're the right person.
I'm definitely not.
I think you got a good answer for us.
I don't know.
All right, let me just ask you, what do you think's the mentality of both teams? Do you think it's just like it's another day in the office, or you think like stakes is high for real?
I mean, there's what, 500,000? Is that what it is? 500,000 on the line?
Yes, each.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that's the stakes. Everyone reacts to stakes differently. Some people view it as just another game because that's the way they keep their composure and whatnot. Some people understand the stakes and that makes them play better, but then some people understand the stakes and that makes them play worse because of nerves. Like I don't know these people. I can't tell you the mentality. I can tell you I can understand different mindsets playing a part in sports, but I can't tell you who's going through and who has what mindset. And I think anyone who doesn't know these players pretending they do is probably lying to you. But yeah, I think the stakes are high. I think that's without question. That's undeniable. Whether we value the NBA Cup as fans or not doesn't change the fact that $500,000 is a lot of money. So, and these players, I think there might be a part of it that is more playing for their teammates as opposed to playing for themselves. I think someone said that the other week that like this isn't really about Jalen Brunson and OG Anunoby getting their bread, insofar as it's about them getting the 12th and 13th man on their rosters, that extra 500,000, which is definitely going to mean more for them than it would for themselves. Not that they wouldn't like the 500,000. So I think that just playing for your teammates, understanding that the guys who might not get in the game as much, this could be a big deal for them. And whether that makes them play better or worse, I don't know. We saw last year in the cup final, OKC played trash. Shea didn't have a good game. They couldn't buy a 3, all that stuff. I remember at the time, people were saying that's the proof that they're not experienced enough to go far in the playoffs and whatnot. Turns out that wasn't true, but that was like the theory. So I think if the Spurs lose, that will probably be the running thing again. Oh, Wemby's not ready to take this team, blah, 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 in the playoffs or whatnot, especially if he doesn't have a great game. So yeah, I think there's definitely there's probably a different mindset for this game because it is a different game. but I couldn't tell you who's gonna react what way. And I'm not going to tell you just because one team plays badly that they felt the pressure, or that because one team played well that they didn't feel the pressure. I feel like that would probably be lazy. So
I think that they do understand what's at stake. So I don't want to misconstrue that. I think that they do recognize what is at stake. But if I'm not mistaken, Penn, I think with this cup, I think the loser on each team, I think they get 200,000. If I'm not mistaken, I think it's something like that.
They do get a lot of money. So basically,
yeah,
anyone who makes the final 8, even the teams that lost in the opening round, Miami, Toronto, those teams, they still got something for it. I think it was like $5,000. It's something, and it's especially something if you're Julian Champagnie, if you're David Jones Garcia, if you're Carter Bryant, if you're Steph Castle, even if you're Luke Cornett. You haven't made a lot of money in your career. This is your first big contract, $11 million. Take agent fees, taxes out of it. You're not making that much money.
Even right now, Wemby ain't made that much money yet.
Yeah, like, endorsements.
What endorsements? But we know what's coming.
What he wants doesn't change. He has a Nike deal. Like he's getting paid. Yeah, he's.
But I think
say all he wants. He's getting money.
If you look at how close the Spurs team is, if you look at just looking at their team, watching them as much as I have, Jeremy Sohan is a really big part of what they do culturally. You know, the team dynamics, right? Dylan Harper, obviously very connected with his teammates. He's on a rookie contract. Lindy Waters III, Julian Champagnie, Carter Bryant, Jordan McLaughlin, Bismack Biyombo, just a guy who is a beloved veteran on a minimum contract. I look at all these guys, and they're making less than $5 million, $6 million a year, right? With the exception of Dylan Harper, who's on his, second overall pick contract. So it's just like when I see these guys, I'm just like, man, the Spurs do have a lot more to play for in terms of the financial, implications of what $500,000 would mean for Julian Champagnie, and Julian's actually going to get in the game. That's the difference.
$500,000, contrary to popular belief, is life-changing money. Even if you are making $50 million, because you might be changing somebody else's life.
What's the popular belief that it's not?
But I'm listening to dudes in the chat. If we end up losing, it was like $200,000. Well, it's a $300,000 difference. If I got extra $200,000 and I'm only making $1.5 million, I'm making $2 million to get an extra $200,000. That does change my life in some ways.
From a purely financial standpoint, $500,000 would mean a lot more to you if you're younger than if you're older.
Nah, for sure.
Right? Because if you're younger, $500,000 might be your first opportunity to buy your mom a home, might be the first opportunity to buy your brother a home. Like that could have been just internally to give yourself a little bit more fuel. That would be like, that could be the deal. Be like, yo, if I get this $500,000, mom, I'm buying you a house. That's the first, you know what I mean? So if you're an 8-year vet, you probably already bought all the homes you're going to buy. You know what I mean? You already bought your grandma a home, mom a home, aunt a home, brother a home. You're good, right?
Sure.
So so I think younger teams probably have a little bit more. Like the $500,000 probably means a little bit more if you're younger. That's all I'm saying.
I also want to look at it from the Knicks perspective too, though, because albeit guys like Jalen Brunson, Karl Anthony Towns, Mikal Bridges, OG Anunoby, Josh Hart, Jordan Clarkson, Mitchell Robinson. These guys have been around the block, and these guys have gotten paid. And obviously they have dudes on their roster as well that are on minimum contracts or haven't got paid as much. But when you look at the top core guys or their top guys, starters, and their top bench players, these guys have been around the block. They've gotten a significant amount of change. They know how the NBA works. But when I look at these guys, this is a group of dudes up there in New York that really have something to prove. They lost in the Eastern Conference Finals last year, when, everybody was picking the Knicks, except for me and Swiper, but that's neither here nor there. Everybody was picking the Knicks. They were supposed to go to the finals. A lot of people are picking the Knicks to come out the East this year. 2 years ago, people had faith in the Knicks, and they lost in the second round again. 3 years ago, when obviously it was a different roster, but Julius Randle and Jalen Brunson, they got packed up. I'm saying, this is a group of guys. Mikal Bridges, he's been to the championship and he's lost. This is a group. OG Anunoby has won. Josh Hart's never really won like that. This is a group of guys that have something to prove. And I feel like they could potentially have a chip on their shoulder. And this could be their statement game to let the world know. Like, New York is back. New York is here. New York is serious, and we're really a contender.
Well, who's been the most serious over the last like decade or two? And that's San Antonio. It's been the Knicks that have been trying to get back to that space that you talk about, Ron. So with them trying to get back to that space, this is another stepping stone to show that we are serious about being a legit contender. We are serious about getting back to the championship. And this is another way to do it, playing against a really good San Antonio Spurs team and beating them. Because, I mean, they've gotten close to them. They haven't gotten close to the mountaintop. It's been San Antonio over the last decade that has actually been in the NBA championship, that has been in the NBA finals and has won the NBA championship, right? A little bit over a decade ago. I take that back. Not a decade. It's them. It's the Knicks who have been, for lack of a better term, blundering, right? It's them who've botched trades. It's them who has had bad seasons. Don't forget, Ron, we had 5 straight 50-loss seasons, right? So here we are now in this in-season tournament where, you know, we can really make some noise. We can really get some traction and show that even though San Antonio came out here to win, like we came out here to win too.
Hey, chill.
How much is that?
Just right quick, Ox. The people can get mad at me if you want to, but the Knicks have really been the laughing stock of at least the East.
Garbage.
Really the NBA, because you're in New York City.
Garbage.
The Knicks have been the laughing stock of the league since Patrick Ewing left. Y'all can get mad at me if y'all want to.
I hate when y'all do this.
But Ox, I can run off these records. Like the Knicks have had.
That shit don't matter. That was like this isn't. These aren't the same. These aren't the same team, same coaching staff, same nothing. Greg Popovich is not around. Like these teams are. Now, mind you, I believe the Spurs have been the best franchise of the past 25 years. 100%.
Why?
Because they well, not even the past 25 years, honestly. Like if you take off, you know, the past 10 years from there to when Tim Duncan's whole career, the Spurs were the best franchise in the NBA. Tim Duncan's been gone for a long time. Like these aren't the same franchises at all. Like the Knicks were a laughing stock then. This is a completely different team, different everything. So like I just don't think any of that matters today at all.
No, I'm gonna tell you why I believe it matters. Because once again, I just highlighted it for the players. But you don't think that the players feel the urge in the city? You don't think that the players want to bring a championship to New York? You know, of all cities you could bring a championship to. I think the
players in Minnesota. I think the players in Minnesota want to bring a championship to Minneapolis.
I understand that though, but Minnesota's not in the position that New York's in right now. Well, they kind of are out west, but I'm specifically talking about the Knicks. I'm talking about now you guys are finally, now the city of New York is finally relevant. The city of New York is buzzing. You guys got a good team. And I just highlighted it. Yes, these guys might not have been there 20 years ago, but they know that the Knicks have only had 3 winning seasons over the last 20 years. And on top of that, they was just in the Eastern Conference Finals last year. They
winning seasons, Ron? 3
winning. Well, right. Outside of the last 3 years. So my bad. It hasn't been. It's been 6.
So those when Melo was there and stuff. What I'm saying, Ron. Okay. So it matters, but I think it matters so little that it doesn't. You know what I'm saying? It matters so little because like you said, I think you said something a little bit earlier ago. Like when y'all was talking about OKC and the Spurs game, and then how's that relevant to this game? It's not. You know what I mean? Like this game, I don't think that the past of the New York Knickerbockers and the past of the San Antonio Spurs are going to have any significance in this particular basketball game.
So Ox, let me just ask you. Let's say that, you know, you went to college, you ended up getting on at the 4-year university you were supposed to go to, and you got busy and went to the league like you could have. And let's say you was a late first-round pick to the Sacramento Kings. You mean to tell me that wouldn't mean a little bit more to you? And the reason why I'm bringing up you going to the Kings, which obviously they haven't been that good of a franchise, but you bringing a championship to Sacramento, the reason why I'm saying that this is relevant to this whole thing, where's Jalen Brunson from? Where's Mikal Bridges from? Where's Karl Anthony Towns from? Those are all guys that are from the New York area. So they know how
Karl Anthony Towns is from New Jersey.
Right, New Jersey, New York, that's the same shit.
So Ron.
No, it's not.
I mean, but all right, so it's not the same thing, Ron. But I get where you're coming from. My thing, once again, Ron. That's
5 minutes away from each other.
Right, Ron. What I'm saying, Ron, is I understand that, Like I get what the point you're trying to make, and I think that point is true. I just don't think it holds as much weight in this particular basketball game as I think you're making it seem. I just don't. And on top of that, Ron, I do, and we've talked about it already. We've talked about it already. Like the in-season tournament has been good for basketball. It's been making it more competitive at this point in the year. But if we were talking about the actual championship, I could see that holding a little bit more weight. On top of that, I do want to say, because I came in on you talking about it, Penn, and we actually spoke about this before. And I think it was Antonio Daniels I was listening to talk about it. And it's not so much about the guys that have like. So you say the Knicks, Ron, you're saying the Knicks have all these guys that have been around and they made so much money. And so what Antonio Daniels and I think Frank Isola, they were saying they're going to play harder for Tyler Kolek. You know what I'm saying? They're going to play they're going to play harder for the other guys because they know, like, we got money. I want to see them have money. So it's like when you offer somebody with multi-millions of dollars, if you offer them some money, that's not going to move them. But when they see that my young boy who's been in the locker room with me, been here with me last year, been with me in the offseason, I see him putting in this work, I'm going to go out there and lay it all out on the line for him. You know what I mean? So I think the Knicks absolutely are going to be moved by that. Like when Jalen Brunson playing for Tyler Kolek, I think is going to be a really big deal. Like that's what I think that moves them around more than the fact that the Knicks have 6 winning seasons since Patrick Ewing left.
That is fair, Fox. I think it will matter though at some point how much do the Knicks veterans actually care about Tyler Kolek's money. You know what I mean?
We'll never know that, but I think they care a lot.
We don't. But like there was this I think Giannis, he like really wanted to get the money for one of his teammates. There was like a teammate, and I don't think it was Thanasis. I think there was a story out where he wanted to pay his mortgage or something like that. Couple things, Ron. One, I heard you basically conglomerate the entire tri-state area into New York.
Yeah. My bad. I'm sorry, everybody from the tri-state. I didn't
hold
mean
up.
To be that insensitive.
Hold up, because these cities have a lot of pride. So I'm gonna make something clear. Jalen Brunson from New Jersey, Karl-Anthony Towns from New Jersey, Edison, New Jersey. Spent a lot of time in Edison in my childhood, so shout outs to Edison, New Jersey. Let me find out Mikal Bridges actually from Philadelphia, bro. What are we doing here?
I mean, that's the same thing too.
What the hell are you doing?
Well, I mean, but New Jersey doesn't have a basketball team anymore, so I think they can have a little pride playing. For
Philly got a basketball team. He done
right. I didn't say anything about Philly. I'm saying New Jersey.
Is Anthony Davis also from New York, Ron?
No,
let me just find out. You drew a map between
Chicago, Philly.
It's pretty close, right?
Nah.
Tyler Hero from New York too.
Chicago is in a.
So Ron, Edison to New York City. That's Renton to Seattle.
That's the same. That's New York then.
Yeah.
That's New York then.
It's like 15. What is Renton? Like 15, 20 minutes from Seattle?
Renton and Seattle border each other. Like that's how close. When I leave Renton, Seattle.
Edison's like a half an hour from downtown New York City. Literally.
Well, chill. Okay, so let me ask you, because Ron put that to me like playing for the Kings. Chill. If you played for the Knicks, wouldn't you look at that as a pride thing? Because y'all, once again, Jersey doesn't have a team anymore, so it's kind of like, okay, I'm not from New York, I'm from Jersey, but I'm putting on for the tri-state area. Like I'm putting on for this whole region. So I understand it's not the same thing, but I mean, I think Karl-Anthony Towns and Jalen Brunson. I think not so much Mikal, because he's from Philly, but I think those guys could look at it like, okay, this isn't my city, but this is our team. You know what I mean? Like, but once again, either way, I just don't think it holds as much significance as it does. Like that's gonna win or lose you the game. If you don't have that pride for your basketball team, then that's just something that you got to work on yourself. Like if you're not out to win because you're a competitor, then that's an issue. That's an issue right there.
Yeah.
And plus, who's to say the Knicks aren't better than the Thunder anyway? I was listening to y'all talking about that whole Spurs thing. Who's to say that
one game
who's to say OKC, or who's to say that the Spurs are going to have a harder game against OKC than they are against the Knickerbockers?
They could definitely have a more difficult game. And again, like I said, I just feel like when you're going up against a team like Oklahoma City, where you've basically emptied the tank to beat them because they've been rolling, and now I got to do that again in the championship game where the stakes are even higher. Can I still bring that same energy for this group that I brought for the champion who was in the in-season tournament championship game last year? Can I bring that same energy for them? And that's what I'm looking to see. That's not to say that they won't. That's not to say that the Knicks won't give San Antonio a run for their money like Oklahoma City did. No, I'm not saying that at all. What I am saying, though, is if I'm going up against this team, do I have the same energy to bring it again 3 nights later against this team?
Chill. Something very interesting. A lot of times people talk about the Spurs dynasty and their Spurs record of success. And I agree with Ron that they are legitimately the best team like we've seen in our lifetime. But this is very interesting. Since Chill is not here, I will ask anybody up here. Is 48-34 a pretty good record? Which is to say, do you respect a team that wins 58% of their games? Is that a pretty respectable record?
Mars?
Sure.
Okay. Between 1990 and 2017, the San Antonio Spurs finished with a record of 58% or above 26 out of 28 times. The only two years, one, they missed it by 1 game in 1992, and the other year was 1997 when they tanked for Tim Duncan. That's it. So I've often heard that the Spurs basically dynasty started when Tim Duncan got drafted. I disagree. I think it started in like 1990.
It started in 87 when they got David Robinson.
Yeah, so when David Robinson joined the NBA.
28 wins. I mean, I don't know if that's a dynasty, but yeah, they won 56 games in 1989, 1990. Then they won 55 games, 47, 49, 55, 60, 62. I mean, 62 wins. They got to the finals, dude. So, I mean, this Spurs team been really, really good for a really long time.
So David Robinson was the star of the dynasty. All right, shout out to him.
I mean, yeah, they won their first championship with him starting center.
Yeah, I'm not arguing. I'm shout out to David Robinson. Underrated.
Well, it did. Well, let's be clear, Miles. When they drafted David Robinson, it was obvious that that's what they were building it around. He was their franchise player, right? He's the guy that they draft. Just like when they drafted Tim Duncan. I mean, it became apparent really early. Duncan better than this dude. This is the guy that we're going to go through. This is the guy that we're building this thing around. Well, that's what they did with David Robinson. You know, Artis Gilmore was already gone when they ended up getting the number 1 pick. So they were building this thing around David Robinson, who, by the way, didn't get on the roster for 2 years because he still had to finish his Navy commitment. So he didn't get on the group. He didn't get with the group until the 89-90 season. And then the next year, they ended up getting Sean Elliott. So it did start with David Robinson. Then they drafted Sean Elliott, and then they built it around those guys. And then they just kept running into the Jazz and the Trailblazers, and it just got tricky until they got Tim Duncan.
It's the panel. Religion get built on cam. Where the check those smoke and the hoes go ham. You ain't never seen hoop talk hit the raw. Every take got weight, every night we drop. This that barbershop. Courtside, worldwide tone. Welcome to the only show that really feel like numbers jumping like the score.